Mere days after finishing a review for Ride 6, Italian developer Milestone let us play a different game altogether. We went to London to try their innovative, reimagined comeback for a long since idle PC racing franchise. Welcome to the DayOne hands-on preview for Screamer. I have very fond memories with the Screamer franchise. In the first of these 90s arcade races, comparable to games like Sega Rally, it was all about mastering a pure racing experience. It's arcadey, but incredibly deliberate and precise, with the various installments delivering accessible yet rewarding driving sensations. I spent hours trading track records with my dad back in the day. You can imagine the spark in my eye when Italian developer Milestone, authors of the original 4 titles in the franchise, have announced their intention of bringing back this forgotten IP. We had a fantastic chat with Michele Coletti about this and more in our interview with Milestone's creative and development director. It turns out they wanted to recreate the immaculate bliss and vibes of the Screamer experience, but with a whole new twist. And the most noticeable change of all is this full-blown anime style. As I hopped into the game's story-driven campaign, I was met with a straight-up anime opening showcasing the characters, world, cars and more in a flashy montage, accompanied by energetic J-rock with female vocals. If you're into anime, you will feel right at home. And it's not just this introduction. The entire game's presentation is very Japanese coded and tremendously well made. You can see more in a lengthy presentation they released last week. In this preview event, we only managed to scratch the surface of the plot, as we could play around the first half an hour of what would be a reasonably lengthy campaign, with additional and entirely optional challenges. In the aforementioned interview, I did get confirmation that the game's plot is completely linear and definitive. There's no player agency, there's no different endings, and no real hidden ending behind weird objectives or DLC. It seems to be an interesting one. Slightly in the future, mysterious benefactor Mr. A organises a wild, illegal racing series. The racers are called, well, Screamers. The prize for the winner is an eye-watering $100 billion, albeit at the rate the inflation's going, I wonder how much it will actually be worth by then. This setup ensures that many of the drivers in teams of 3 come from all around the world, each with their own motives. Someone needs to get revenge on a driver for killing their friend. Others may want to steal the incredible echo tech, more on that in a minute, that powers the racing cars. There are artists, mechanics, yakuza. Every character in Screamer has a name, a face, a story, and is fully voiced both in animated cutscenes and other dialogue screens. A funny detail is that characters each speak their own language, so you'll hear folks speaking English, German, Japanese, Italian, and more. But everyone has a so-called universal language translator installed, so any language can be easily understood by anybody else, including the barks of the race driver dog Fermi. The tone of Screamer is pretty unserious, but there's various darker elements in play, including a gruesome and bloody murder. I've found all the characters thus far to be well written and voiced, making me very hopeful for the quality of the overall plot. But of course, this is a racing game, and all of this would fall apart immediately had it not been backed up by a strong driving module. I'm happy to report that Screamer appears to have nailed that aspect. The handling of our anime-styled cars is snappy, with the left stick allowing you to steer normally and the right one to drift. It's a little bit unusual, and it takes a little getting used to the angles and possibilities, but before long I found myself nailing the lines and performing well. Screamer has a lot more up its sleeve driving-wise. First is an active upshifting mechanic, with the HUD turning yellow to indicate when you need to upshift. Transmission is manual, don't worry, and it still upshifts automatically if you desire. But if you nail the timing, you get a nice little speed boost, which becomes very easy to get used to, and it remains rewarding all the way through. Then there's the entire echo system. Driving well, drifting and so on allows us to charge 2 separate meters. One is used to generate speed boosts, the other turns us into a deadly bullet with strike mode, as everyone we touch when it's active gets high damage or even wrecked entirely. Likewise, you can turn on shield mode when you feel someone is about to hit you. with convenient on-screen indicators warning you of this being imminent. There's even a deadly overdrive, this game's ultimate, so to speak. It gives you godlike speed and lets you wreck anybody you touch, but if you crash too hard, you're going to wreck yourself. Risk versus reward, baby. On top of the first half hour of the story, which gave us various racing events and served as a tutorial of sorts as well, we had access to standard and team races. It's quite straightforward in execution. Solo races pit drivers against one another on one of the many tracks. I think I saw like 40 unique ones in the menu, though I didn't have time to unlock or even check out most of them. The team variant throws points into the mix, and it's similar to the team modes in the recent Sonic kart games. Players get points for their finishing positions and the wrecks they cause, and the team of 3 with the highest points tally take the trophy. I can foresee this being quite a riot online, though with identical AI, it's hard to feel much teamwork going on. What's interesting is that every character has their own signature, extremely stylish car with its own stats and even its own skill. That means that every character, on top of having a unique look, a distinct voice line, and a recognisable car, also employs a unique active or passive skill. I can't say I had the time to really dig into the ins and outs of these variations, but it throws a little bit of class-based fun into an already engaging gameplay loop. The cast of characters seems quite large, almost reminiscent of a fighting game. Indeed, many of Screamer's design elements seem inspired by fighters like Tekken in particular. An interesting choice for a racing game, yet I found it strangely natural in its execution. On top of the stellar anime style created in collaboration with Polygon Pictures, I'd be doing you a disservice if I didn't mention the world design. Each track is packed with style and detail. The futuristic cyberpunk Japan urban landscapes featuring pedestrians, bright billboards and more. We even hit up a handful of industrial and natural areas, all featuring some rather impressive vistas and landscapes. It's definitely one of the best looking and most stylish races in many years, and it's all accompanied by a high intensity banging electronic soundtrack, as it should be. My biggest complaint about Screamer is that I only got to try it for about a half hour thus far, and I really wanted to keep playing. The anime-infused storyline seems intriguing, the visual presentation is on point, the gameplay, the actual racing, is banging. The soundtrack really pumps adrenaline into my veins, and the ecosystem and the active upshifts make for a demanding yet engaging arcade romp. All in all, Screamer looks to be one of the most promising, unique and stylish track-based arcade racers in many years. In a world where every racer seems to want to be the next Forza Horizon, Mario Kart or Gran Turismo, seeing a renowned developer like Milestone doing something bold and unique is exciting, especially because it seems like they really nailed it. I can't wait to get my hands on Screamer again, as we might be witnessing the birth of a modern racing classic. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit like, hit subscribe, and if you really love what we do, why not head over to playday.one and check out the rest of our work. We'll see you next time.